people talk about these what do you call them, grave shows or whatever, isn't I'm assuming, like, couldn't they be problematic when people come and into sort of into a graveyard like this? And I know not everybody's on their best behavior, and some people might think, Gigi would want this or that. Has there been problems doing these shows in this graveyard? Is this New Hampshire, right?
We don't actually play in the cemetery.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
We go to the cemetery, but the cemetery and the grave, that's a whole fucking book right there. God, I can give you the slimmed down version of it, but
please.
Basically, I designed the headstone with a little bit of help from my ex, Frederic, and the headstone was put into the cemetery in 1994. Then people started coming from all over the fucking world to see Gigi's grave. And, you got the people that, want to piss on it and shit on it and write stuff all over it and this, that, and the other, which, I mean, me and my mom had issues, because she was, obviously against all of that,
Yeah, and, sure.
I was kind of against it too, but on the other hand, I understood what people wanted to do, even though it was disrespectful, So basically what happened, the Catholic priest, the chief of police, the people that run the town of Littleton and the meetings and all of this and that and the other, they always brought up my brother's gravesite and all the problems that are happening there with people pissing on it. Well, and a lot of times they would go in and light, the veterans' flags on fire, not even Gigi stuff, just people around Gigi's grave. So they would destroy other people's graves and flags and shit like that. And so in 2010, the Catholic priest took the headstone. They said somebody knocked it off the platform or whatever. So they took the headstone and put it in the basement of the Catholic Church, and it ended up staying there for several years. Then my mom picked it up again, but they told my mom, they said, there's no way that Gigi's headstone is going back into the cemetery. And so the only way they would put it back in the cemetery was if they sanded down Gigi's side of the stone. And I was like, fuck you, you're not fucking sanding down nothing. My mother was all ready to go for it. And so me and my mother had a big battle over that, And I said, look, you could sand down Gigi's side of the stone, but anybody that's going to go there, they're going to spray paint G.Allin all over it. So you're wasting your time doing that. So basically what happened
listen, Mom, you might believe me, I know Gigi's fans, right? They're gonna come with a chisel and chisel it right in. They're gonna write it in crap. You're not gonna be able to.
Yeah. So basically what we did was I made a deal with my good friends from the Museum of Death out here in Hollywood. JD and Kathy, I put the headstone. The headstone is actually at the Museum of Death in Hollywood. And
you shipped it out there?
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the headstone is out here. Also, the clothing that Gigi died in, the Wrangler jacket, Liz's skirt, and the boots, they're all at the museum as well. And there's a statue, a figure of Gigi in a big glass container, and it's got the clothing on it and everything. So there's a whole section of just Gigi. There's a wall with artwork and letters and all the clothing and the headstone. So I figured, you know what? If it's not going back into the cemetery, I don't want to just take it and, I wanted people to be able to see it.
Yeah. That
So
makes
I figured, why not put it there, you know?
that makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure it's in a good place, and now it's accessible to
Yep.
people.